Hi, I'm AJ Nash, digital intelligence advocate for Authenticate, with another Intel drop. Listen, I've been thinking about breaches and compromises a lot today. And you know what? Your next breach is probably going to start with your org chart. So let me explain. Microsoft's Midnight Blizzard breach was due to a legacy test tenant account with no MFA that nobody remembered existed. A Citrix portal without multi-factor authentication was responsible for the Change Healthcare breach that affected a third of Americans. And the Salt Typhoon telecom compromises, they were due to threat actors exploiting well-documented vulnerabilities that should have been patched months earlier. These aren't technology failures. These are organizational failures. And adversaries have figured it out. So here's one of the things I learned when I was growing up in the intelligence community. You can have the best collectors and analysts in the world, but without clear command structure and accountability, you're going to have some serious problems. When we turn about cybersecurity and look at that, who's responsible for any given system? Who approves changes and who gets notified when something looks wrong? If you can't answer those questions instantly, you've got a governance problem, and governance problems become security problems. CISA just released their updated Cybersecurity Performance Goals, the CPG 2.0, and for the first time, they've added an entire section on governance. That's the nation's cybersecurity agency, and they're now explicitly saying that accountability, risk ownership, and strategic integration of security into daily operations are foundational requirements. These aren't nice to haves, they're foundational. So why is that? Well, it's probably because they've seen enough organizations with fantastic security tools that are still getting breached because of orphan systems and unclear ownership, legacy infrastructure that fell through the cracks of the org chart. The adversary doesn't need a 0 day when you've got an exposed test environment nobody remembers authorizing. They don't need sophisticated tradecraft when there's a VPN appliance that 3 different teams think someone else is patching. And they don't have to defeat technology if they can exploit the gaps between our people. Can you name it? Every external facing system in your environment right now? Not just your production systems. I'm talking about the dev environments, the proof of concept deployments, the tools someone spun up for a project 2 years ago and forgot all about. Can you confidently say who owns each one and when was the last time it was reviewed? Chances are you can't. Chances are nobody can. And if you can't, you've got the same problem that Microsoft and Change Healthcare and Citrix and countless others have already had. The unsexy truth about security is that the real left of boom work isn't just buying detection tools. It isn't just buying intelligence. It's knowing what you have and knowing who's responsible for it, ensuring someone is accountable when things go wrong. This is basic Sun Tzu here. You have to know yourself, know your adversary. A lot of people don't know themselves well enough. Listen, I get it. Governance, it's not glamorous. But like many sports teams, the dirty work that doesn't get noticed is often the foundation for winning or losing. All right, listen, that's all my time for today. Thanks for checking in. Stay vigilant.